Okay, good evening everyone. Welcome to the program, Diana Wright Show live online. And we thank you so much for joining us. And of course, wherever you are right now, even if you're in the beauty parlor doing your hair, we hope you're watching on your computer. And we welcome those of you who are watching us from around the world. And that's a great thing about technology. You can do this thing and you never know who is watching. If you're watching in France or you're watching, wherever you're watching, we welcome you to the show. So we have lots to talk about tonight, and I don't have to remind you too much about the number because it's right there on the screen. I will keep trying to change the screen to give you the various addresses, but also to let you know that we can accommodate you on Skype also. If you'd like to come in on Skype and give your thoughts and join the conversation right here. I want to start off by talking about what my crusade is, the I Love Me crusade, trying to get each and every one of you to love yourself and teach your children to love themselves also. So, if you love you, you will experience a miraculous increase in love, even for the other people you love. That's one of the things I'd like you to keep in mind this evening, and I'll read you some. I just get up and I get, the vibration or the spirit tells me, and I just write these things down. So, not getting it from any source, but something might spark my inspiration to write things down to share with you. So, in the absence of loving you, you become powerless and desperate to find love from others, and sometimes you will do anything to get that love. So, don't want you to do that. Want you to love yourself first and let that love find you, because they always say when you're not looking for love, it finds you. But when you're searching and seeking it and trying to find it, it never seems to come your way. And even if it does, it's not the love that you're really looking for. There's a book that I have here called Real Love. And in that book, I interviewed it's a doctor that wrote the book, and I interviewed him years ago. And he said to me that a lot of women or a lot of men, when you meet someone and you're trying to make your best impression, what you do is that you hold back on the things about you that are really, in your mind, your faults or your little quirks or whatever. And he said that when you go to that first date, just put your negatives on the table. The person either will love you for it, want to be with you, or they'll take the exit door. So, just to get everything out in the open and have no secrets. And he said if someone can love you with your faults, that's the person you're looking for. All right, so I'll pull some things from the book once in a while. Farewell again to the Saturday mail. But so many people are upset. I'm not. Are you so upset about getting mail on a Saturday? There are people in Manhattan that are raging mad about it. And the Postal Service says that if they did not take Saturday away, then they would have to charge us $1.18 for a stamp. Well, I have gotten so used to buying those forever stamps now that I don't even worry about what it costs for a stamp. So my advice to you is go out and get yourself books of forever stamp. They never go stale or wear out. No matter how much the stamp is, that's what you will be putting on your envelope. And as a matter of fact, they're blaming the technology, the internet, because they're saying people are paying their bills by email and online and all that kind of stuff. So that's the reason they had to cut the service on Saturday. I just cannot understand why people are so mad. Well, the people who get their movies from Netflix on a Saturday, I can see why they're mad, because they won't get the movie until Monday. And who wants to go through a whole weekend without the movie? The whole idea is to watch the movie over the weekend, right? So I can see why those people are mad, but I'm not quite sure why the other people are mad, because the post office will still be open and you'll still get your packages and stuff like that, because that's where they're making their profit now. So don't get mad, just adjust. And I think it takes effect August 5th. Yes. So you don't have to worry until August. You'll still be getting your mail, and August is a long way from here. Not that long, really. As you turn around, summer is here. So I'll take that back. Secretary of the Interior, Salazar, he said farewell today. Of course, he's going to be there until the new Secretary of the Interior, Sally Jewell, gets confirmed by Congress. And I just thought I did not have any idea that there was such a warm, friendly relationship with Salazar and President Obama. It was so obvious. He said it, but sometimes people say things, you're my friend, or I love you so much and you mean so much to me, but it's not that obvious. It was so obvious they have a very good relationship. So we welcome the new secretary. She was in banking and also was an engineer at Mobil Oil. So just thought you should know. And some good news. Not your good news, but other people's good news. There's a couple in Arkansas who won the scratch-off lottery for $1 million. But that is the big news. But the bigger news is that the next day, less than 24 hours later, they won another scratch-off for $50,000. Now, why couldn't that be me or you? Oh, no. Well, that's because we're not buying the scratch-off. Because I'm not buying the scratch-off. So when I saw that today, I thought this was a nice, happy story. And they both admit they never screamed. They had no emotion to the whole thing. You know, they were just, I guess, in shock, so they couldn't scream or do anything. They probably froze in their steps. Can you imagine winning $1 million, scratching off a lotto ticket, and then less than 24 hours you try your luck again and you win $50,000? Wow, that's awesome. So we congratulate them and we are happy for them and hope you have the same luck if you're playing the lottery. All right. There's a website called Luminosity that is saying that you need to exercise your brain the same way we try to exercise our bodies. Now, I'm not quite sure what they're telling you to do, so you have to check the website out, and they give you like a free trial to check it out. So they're giving you the exercises that you need to do to exercise your brain, because they say if we exercise our brain, then a lot of us who get older and are beginning to lose our memories won't lose our memory, and it will help us to stay sharper and on our toes. Now, who wouldn't want that? So Luminosity is a website that you need to check out. Also, just reminding you that the email address here, DianaWrightTV@gmail.com. You can reach us on Skype, and you can give us a call at the telephone number that you're seeing on your screen, 561-228-1921. And of course, if you're watching me, I know you know the address of the website. And you can follow us on Facebook, even though they seem to be having some problems today. So we'll watch that and see what Mr. Zuckerberg is up to. Do you think, basically, there was a parent who was quite upset with his children and decided to set up a college fund for them instead of giving them his money. He says that giving your children money is like poison, giving them poison, because the fact that they don't work for the money, they just squander it, I guess, and they actually sourced Paris Hilton for this. They said, look at her and some other people they named. Are they handling the money well? I think she's probably handling it well now because she's developing her own, fragrance and her own business and fashion and whatever, and making her own money. But they're saying that some children, when you give them money, it's like giving them poison, because they blow the money out and you are wondering your hard work, why did you do this? So parents out there, if you are wealthy, do you plan to leave your money to your children? Or you plan to leave it to your dog, like Leona Hemsley? I just think she was mean anyway. So that's something I wanted to find out your thoughts about tonight. Would you leave all your money to your children? Or would you let them earn it by, helping them to start a business or making sure they go to college? I'm sure Donald Trump did that. All his kids went to college and they're all doing well, and they don't seem to be squanderers of money, or they don't seem to have been poisoned by the money. So those kids seem to have turned out okay. So what about yours? And you don't have to be a millionaire either. You can be the regular guy next door who owns a house, or who owns a nice car, or who owns a good, decent bank account and whatever. Doesn't have to be $1 million. Are you going to leave that to your child? And do you think your child is mature enough to handle that money because they know that you worked hard for that money? That's one of the things I would like to discuss with you this evening. Also, if you have a 4G smartphone, they're thinking of raising the bill. I mean, are they going to just suck us dry? How many times are they going to increase these things? It's just amazing to me that you can't get a break. The minute you figure, okay, I can pay these bills and I'm getting adjusted to these bills, then boom, here you go. They're thinking about it anyway. And looking at some political news, I just wonder what is the matter with my crying Speaker Boehner. He is raging mad. Raging mad about the deficit and Washington needs to get their spending act together. Okay, Mr. Boehner, what are you planning to really get together? Is it Medicaid for the poor people? Is it Medicare for the elderly? Or is it Social Security for those who paid into the program, and also Medicare that people paid into the program? They talk about spending, and they have this way that they turn the words around, so you get a little confused, because one minute they're saying it's entitlement, next minute they're saying it's deficit, next minute they're calling it spending cuts. But we know what it is. And as the president keeps saying, we cannot cut our way into prosperity, and we cannot cut our way cut our deficit on the backs of poor people, education, and all the things that are necessary for regular folks. Why is it that the Republican Party insists on protecting the wealthy? Why is that? Now they don't even want to close the loopholes? What's up with that? Does the Republican Party have some secret or something that we don't know about, that they just have to protect the wealthy? I just cannot believe that they are just about committing suicide, basically. And they're just persistent in doing so. What is it about wealthy people that have the Republicans so loyal, not willing to budge? They have to protect the rich, and to hell with the poor. Oh my goodness. So I'm just wondering what's wrong with our crying speaker, Mr. Boehner. Because I saw him today and he was hopping mad and walked off the set and said he's tired of all the spending. Washington's spending is out of control and something has to be done about it right now. And of course, they're always blaming the president. I wonder why. Why are they so obsessed with President Obama? The first 4 years, they obstruct everything he did. Yeah? So they were obstructionists, if you ask me. Now the second term, it seems like they're willing to wreck the economy just to stick it to the president. But they're not really sticking it to the president. They're sticking it to Americans. And if our economy crashes, they're not only sticking it to Americans, they're sticking it to the world. So Republicans, are you willing to wreck the economy just because you hate President Obama? Where do you guys get all this hate? And one day Eric Cantor is being the nicer, gentler Eric Cantor, and the next day he's the devil again. Oh my goodness. I just think these politicians are totally confusing. So I take time out to ask you if there's anyone out there who has a machine that can transfer my tapes, my U-matic beta tapes or my U-matic 3/4 inch tapes to digital. Please give me a call at 561-228-1921 because we're having difficulty finding someone to do it for us. And quite a few people have been calling and asking for the old shows, but we can't do much with them until we get them transferred to digital. So we're working on it here, but I'm putting it out in the atmosphere, in the universe. There might be someone somewhere who has the equipment and is willing to do that for us. I have quite a bit of tape, but I don't necessarily want to do every single one, but most of them I'd like to do. And also just to tell Althea that we're working on hers too. She wants the one about step parents. So we're working on that. Let's see. What else is good news and bad news for you today? I just believe that the Republicans are just about committing political malpractice. That's my opinion. So we're going to watch and see what they're going to do. And I want to move now to the drones, all the drones thing. And they're saying, oh, President Obama is using all these drones to kill all these people. And would we rather them use drones to target the people who want to hurt Americans? Or would we rather them send in our soldiers and have them killed? I would prefer that they send the drones in. Yes, we need explanations. And yes, we need to question. But isn't it better for us to keep our soldiers alive than to send them into these dangerous places where you can send a drone in and there's no one getting hurt but the person that you're targeting, which is normally someone who wants to hurt Americans? So what is all the fuss about? I mean, everything becomes a major fight, a major ordeal. And nothing gets done eventually. Now, I gather that we're moving forward with gun control, and all the stars were up in Capitol Hill today giving their little 2 cents in the matter. And I heard, Chris Rock, he was quite funny when he said what we need to do is we charge $5,000 for a box of ammunition. And if you do that, you will have less people buying ammunitions, okay? Because I don't know how many people could really afford to buy a box or one for $5,000. So I'm with Chris Rock on that one, okay? $5,000 for ammunition per box now. I think he said one, but per box probably. I still think people would not be able to afford that. Because the young man that shot all those people and killed some at the Gifford supermarket when she was doing her promo for her political people, I don't think he could afford to buy ammunition for $5,000. So maybe that's a very good idea. And maybe the politicians should hear what Chris Rock has to say. He was also in Washington today. And he said, well, the president and the first lady are like mother and father, and we must listen to what the father says. He is always so funny. And Republicans are refusing, some Republicans are actually refusing to attend the State of the Union address with President Obama, which is coming up shortly. How rude can you be? How petty can you be? Why is it that these Republicans don't get over the fact that they've lost the election? They're still trying to figure out why they lost. I heard another story today, and they're looking into the numbers, and they're trying to figure out which ad and why they should have not run the ad at that time. I don't care when they ran the ad. The 47%, Ryan and his crazy... What happened to him anyway, Mr. Ryan? Mr. Ayn Rand philosophy Ryan, who really don't like poor people. if you're not doing well, Mr. Ryan really doesn't have any use for you. What is it about these Republicans that why they hate President Obama so much? Do you have any thoughts on that? I have my own theories, but I would like to hear what you think. Okay, focusing on celebrities continuously now. I just think it's hilarious what's going on with Kim Kardashian and Kris Humphries. Kris is stretching out the divorce and she's saying, well, she's pregnant and she's going through all the stress and she wants a quick divorce so she can move on, and she figures that the court will be sympathetic to her because she's pregnant. I don't think so, Kimmy. Because Kris Humphries, a very handsome one too, believes that he was cheated by you guys, the Kardashians, with this fake wedding that you had because you all wanted ratings for your TV show. So he wants to see and show the video of the show. I don't see why they're fighting that. And why is it that she is so, well, she's saying it's an unplanned pregnancy. So I guess we should understand that. It's unplanned. So, poor Kris. I hear he gets booed every time he goes on the court to play ball. But Kris, my love, your time will come for your joy to come. Because if his story is correct, and they actually did this wedding for promotion and publicity and ratings, I think he will get his day. I think his joy will come and people will realize that the Kardashians were not being truthful. They lied. How about that? I said it. They just lied. And it's also amazing to me that Kim can just come on and says, oh, I see myself doing a sitcom. And people come calling. And her mom says, oh, she dreams of doing a talk show. And Fox come calling. I wonder if we should all put that out in the universe. Who will come calling us? It is just incredible how these celebrities just keep getting, and the more they have is the more they want. And seemingly the more they need to continue in the basque of what they do. Anyway, 561-228-1921. Give us a call and let's hear your thoughts on some of the things that we're talking about today. Some good news coming out of Home Depot. They're going to be hiring lots and lots and lots of people for the spring. I'm a little disappointed because it's only seasonal employment. So that will help our economy grow. And that will be a good thing for us. So if you're looking for a job, Home Depot is one of the places that you need to check out. I saw something very interesting on television today in passing, and I had to step back and make sure I saw this. A young lady, Penelope Cruz, I think her name is, in Miami. Whatever she did, she found herself in front of the judge. And when he gave his sentence, she had the nerve to give the judge the finger and say the F word to him. So the judge, and had the nerve to say adios. So the judge, in his, I don't know if he found it funny or he was mad or what, but he just said, what did you say to me? Come back here. So he added some more to her bail money. Right? He upped it. And then she left the room. On her way out, she said the same thing again. And he calls her back and he goes, okay, I'm going to put you in jail for 30 days. I thought, this is bizarre. Is this the way people behave in court these days? And she had to be a teenager. She can't be anything more than 18 or 19. And she was there daring the judge to change the sentence. and to even give her more than 30 days. And he was happy to play the game with her. I just thought that was totally, totally bizarre. Who knew that that could happen in the court? And of course, it's in Miami, so, you know. How are the people in Miami doing? They must be losing it, because when I saw that today, I thought, oh my God, the world is gone crazy. The judge is giving you a sentence and you are sticking the finger and telling the judge adios. Wow. That's a brave young lady. Very, very brave. And Beyonce is having her own set of issues. Right now, her rep is asking the photographers and the people, I think at BuzzFeed or something like that, one of those websites that, you know, keep you in touch with all what's going on with the stars. BuzzFeed obviously published some photos of Beyonce from the Super Bowl on Sunday, and really and truly X-rated photos of her vajayjay parts, even though she had on that little skimpy thing. So they decided that they're going to call Buzz or send them an email to say if they could take down those unflattering photos. And I thought, how stupid, because I really wasn't interested in anything like that. But when I saw that, I thought, why are they doing this? So I got curious and I went on, and my goodness, I thought that the performance was really X-rated on Sunday, but looking at the photos, I really know it was X-rated on Sunday. So my thing is, if Beyonce does not want those kind of photos to be taken, why is she doing those kind of moves and winding up her little body on stage and exposing her parts and acting that way? There's going to be a photographer that's going to snap that shot. And you should not be allowed to want to take it back. Why is your agent trying to do this? I think the secret is already out. The puss is already out of the bag. The cat who won the place of being on the Monopoly as one of the markers. The cat is out the bag already. And the fact that they're talking about it and so upset about it, now everybody's going to see it. Even the people like me who I wasn't really interested in all of this. So, Beyonce, when you're on stage, be mindful of the poses that you do when the dance gets into your spirit and you can't control yourself, because then you will think the photos are unflattering. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see. We talked about the Scouts last night and the fact that they were planning to allow homosexual individuals to join the Scouts or be Scouts leaders. There's one young lady who I think got millions of signatures for them to pressure them to do this, because she herself is gay and wants to be a Scout leader without discrimination. Now, yesterday we thought it was going to happen, but today the officials of the Scouts got cold feet because people were hitting them from every corner with their various opinions. So now they say they're going to hold back the decision until August 5th. And I wondered about that. Public pressure can make a difference. So why is it that public pressure is not coming from all of you guys out there to pressure Congress to do the right thing? Why aren't we doing that? Because if all those people can make all those phone calls and pressure the officials at the Scouts, and they decided, okay, we need to step back, take a look at all our, documents and all of that, and then we will make a decision. I think they said they will make the decision in May. This is a long time they're going to take. Okay, it's February, March, April, May. I think most people assume that the decision was already made. So ladies and gentlemen out there, if you want to apply public pressure to your Congress people who are bent on ruining the economy of the United States, we need to start dialing the phone as of tomorrow morning. Call your congressperson. Pressure them. Tell them, stop fighting the president. Stop obstructing the president. Stop trying to wreck the economy. And everybody's on edge. Nobody wants to do anything because these politicians are just keeping things on edge. Sequester or not to sequester? Now the Republicans are all in favor of this sequester. So the fact that they're in favor of it, it can't be good. I just know that. I simply just know that. So I am just pleading with you this evening for you to get on your phones tomorrow, get on your Facebook, on your email, on your whatever you need to get on, because I'm sure lots of you can find out who your congressperson is. And just pressure them, because these people have pressured the Scouts people to we don't know if they're going to change the decision, or we don't know what they're going to do, but at least it has given them pause in making their decision. Another troubling thing for me today, it's troubling because there's a hacker group called Anonymous. They basically hack into the Federal Reserve. I mean, they have just targeted the Federal Reserve. They've also targeted banks, and they have managed to get a lot of the bankers, secret passwords or whatever they have to get into whatever secret place they need to get into. Very troubling. But someone from Anonymous actually was not so anonymous today and said that they are very mad with the banks because they know that the banks were responsible for the crashing and crushing of the economy in 2008, and no one has gone to jail. So, what do you believe should happen to, and they do know who they are from investigation. It seems like they know who the people are that helped to wreck the economy. Why aren't they going to jail? I am sure if you and I did anything of that nature, we would be in prison right now. So those people at Anonymous are saying they're mad as hell. They're not going to take it anymore, and they're taking action into their own hands. I don't agree with what they're doing, but my question is, why is it that the bankers, the hedge funders, all those financial folks who are responsible for the economy crashing and most of us losing the one thing that we own, our houses, either to foreclosure or we're underwater or whatever it is. Some people are living on the streets because of these guys. Why should they get away scot-free? Like Lance Armstrong, they're getting away scot-free. Why is that? What do we need to do? Again, we need to use the power of our phones, our emails, our Facebook accounts, and let the government know that they need to do something. These people should not be able to get away with this and keep doing this. It's just not right. So, once again, thank you so much for joining me. This is the Diana Wright Show, live online. We're on 10:30 a.m. every day, Monday to Friday, and 8 p.m. Monday to Friday for you to, let us know how you feel. Share your opinion. Join the conversation. If you have a new topic that you want to discuss that I haven't touched, well, you're welcome to let me talk about that. Reminding you of the email address again, it's dianawrighttv@gmail.com. dianawrighttv@gmail.com. And I'm slowing down because I'm told that I say it too fast and you can't get to write it down. And the number is right there on the screen, 561-228-1921 for you to call and be part of the conversation. You can also Skype us. Let's get into Skype and you can be on with me right here on the screen and talk about what's troubling you or what's bothering you. So let's remind you of a few things here. Reminding you of the I Love Me Crusade. My mission and my crusade is to get every single one of you that's watching right now, all your friends and family, to love themselves and say these words to themselves all the time. I love me. And for the guys, to be more masculine, you just need to say, love me. Take the I off and just love me. All right? Teach your children to love themselves. I don't care what they think they look like or what they don't think they look like. They need to love who God made them to be. Remember, the Bible states that we are all wonderfully made by God. So why would we want to hate ourselves? Or why would we want to be somebody else? A lot of those movie stars, that we aspire to look like, they are getting all types of assistance, from Botox to different kind of facials to secret facelifts that we don't know about. Because they have to do that to stay in the game. So don't try to be them or want to be them. Just love who you are. And I promise you, if you love yourself, love will find you. And I know that's what most of us are looking for, to be happy, is to find love. But if you give that love to yourself first, then love will come to you. So love yourself first, and then magically love will find you. Believe me, it will find you. And when you're least looking is when you'll find it. Don't be going in the supermarket about your perusing and dressing up nice and cute and figuring that you're going to meet someone in the supermarket. Yeah, it happens. It happens. It happens. It happens a lot, actually, because there's quite a few people who have met their significant other in the grocery store, picking out some apples or some onions or picking up a piece of meat to go cook. Yeah, lots of people have done that. Ambrosia, I think, sadly, her fiance died, but that's where they met, in the supermarket. So there is hope for the supermarket, but we want to be, but she loved herself anyway. I know she did, because I spotted her on television a couple of times. You could see that she was confident, loved herself, and knew who she was, know who she wanted to be. She had, a few things done here and there, I guess, to her face and her boobies and whatever. But she loved who she was. She just, according to her, I think she said she wanted to enhance her beauty. So if you want to enhance your beauty, no one can fight with that. And if you want to stay looking young, but remember now, when you do that Botox thing, that cheek that you put that Botox in, it doesn't move. It is stuck. So if you can't live with that, don't do it, okay? A lot of people have done it and did not know that muscle will be dead forever. That muscle does not come back. All right? So, where are you tonight? You're supposed to be calling. You're supposed to be part of the conversation. You're supposed to call 561-228-1921 and join the conversation, right? So please do that now. We are waiting for you. And my favorite, Governor Chris Christie. Yesterday he said, I am the healthiest fat man in America. So Dr. Morena, she took him on, and she was, I think, the doctor that helped President Clinton to lose the weight that he did and all that kind of good stuff. She said, and I quote, "I'm afraid he's going to die in office." Oh my goodness. Well, Chris Christie got hopping mad today. He was so angry at her. He said she had the nerve to stay in Arizona. She has not met him to diagnose him from a distance, and had his young son come to him in the night last night and ask him, "Daddy, are you going to die?" Well, we're hoping that she didn't do it in malice. I think she was just doing it just to answer to what he said on David Letterman. But he was hopping mad. He said she needs to shut up. Only Governor Christie can be like that. And we still like him. So, are you going to share your thoughts tonight? This is this is absolutely the worst flu season ever. I am serious. I'm still hoarse from that flu, and I still don't feel 100%, but I rebuke it in the name of Jesus. Because I'm serious. This is the worst flu season I've ever seen. Ever. Since I've been getting the flu. And it's just persistent and just won't go away. Why is that? I sympathize and empathize with all of you who are not feeling well tonight. And all of you who are suffering from the flu, please drink lots of liquids, eat lots of oranges, take lots of zinc, and get some rest. Because you absolutely need to rest. Even if you just take a 10-minute or half an hour siesta in the day like they do in Rome and in a lot of the European countries. Take a siesta. They say that 10 minutes of shut-eye will make you feel energized. So, Governor Christie, I'm sorry that you got so upset. But he was hopping mad that Dr. Moreno had the nerve to diagnose him from Arizona, and she's never met him, and said something that really set off his young son. So, I don't know how you feel about that. Also, I wanted to find out from you if you believe that marriage and shacking up should be a 50-50 deal, meaning we do equal work, especially if we both work. We share the housework, we share the taking the children to their different activities and all of that. Do you believe that that is the way it should be and should go all the time? I don't think that is ever going to happen. I think we're dreaming about that one. Because I think women are always going to get the brunt of the household responsibilities. Just like when, young girls get pregnant, the young man is gone off to college and they're left with the baby and the responsibility of the baby. And most times, that young man goes off and marries someone else. So, is it fair to ask men to share in the household duties 50-50? Should we be actually measuring this or not? I wonder if we should be. And my next big question is, do you believe that if you go to church, because it seems like a lot of young people are saying, well, I go to church, and some adults, so I'm a Christian. Do you believe that going to church alone makes you a Christian? So you go to church every Saturday or every Sunday. Does that make you a Christian? Huh? Does that truly make you a Christian? I don't think it makes you a Christian. I believe that going to church, a lot of people go there for various reasons. A lot of people, that's the day they worship, and they figure if they don't go to church, what am I going to do that day? Just stay home and sleep? But if you're going to church for the right reasons, it's a wonderful thing. But if you're going to church with ulterior motives, apart from worshiping God, studying the Bible, being taught by your pastor, I think you need to check your conscience. Are you going there to do your multi-level marketing because you figure the congregation is easy prey? Or are you going there because you're looking for your significant other? And just the other day, they had major scandal about men who were going to church to prey on vulnerable women who believe that because the men are coming to church, they're good guys. So they didn't have to worry. They didn't have to do a Dun and Bradstreet on them. I'm sure you're wondering what I just said. Yeah, I believe if you're getting married to anyone these days, you seriously need to do investigation on that person, male or female. I really don't care. You just can't just get married to people these days and not know what's going on. Look at that guy who married so many women across the country. He left from state to state to state and kept marrying these women and kept giving them AIDS. And they all met him online and thought he was so wonderful and so charming. So, tell me, ladies, what do you think about that? And not just ladies, because men, you especially, are you going to church to deceive a vulnerable sister? Or are you going to church to worship and to praise God and to thank God and to be taught by your pastor? Because some of the pastors are very good teachers of the Bible. Some are not, but some are. So why are you going to church? And does that make you a Christian because you attend church? And you figure, or some people figure they know the Bible and their Bible is overworked and they have so many highlights in their Bible, so that means they're a Christian. Sometimes people go to church and you ask them when they exit, what was the sermon about today? Most of the times they can't tell you. And they will leave that church and they will actually not even go home and reread that passage that the preacher preached from. So if the preacher said something that was actually not correct, they will never know. Because they are not going back to check their Bibles. Because to me, when you go to church, you are there, you listen to the sermon, but you need to go home and read that scripture for yourself and make sure that whatever the preacher was teaching, you got it and you understand it, and that preacher was not telling you any stories that was not really there. So that is something I think people really need to do. So you go to church to fulfill, refresh, find whatever you're trying to find, but you should be going to church to worship, to praise, and to be thankful to God. Yeah, you should be thankful at home too and say thanks to God all the time, 24 hours a day if you like. But when you go to church, it doesn't make you a Christian. It absolutely does not make you a Christian. And if you're going with ulterior motives, it definitely does not make you a Christian. So my advice to you is when you go to church, you go with a pure, clean heart and you focus on worshiping, praising God, not going there to see what Sister Jane is wearing and what Sister Angela has on today and what shoes this person bought and how many pairs of shoes they wear with different dresses to match. That's not your purpose. And who is carrying a Gucci bag and who is carrying a Louis Vuitton bag. That's not your purpose. Or who has on weave or who has on wigs or who has on whatever today. That should not be your purpose for going to church. Hence, Some people are turned off by churches because of what happens. You go to a church and you're new, and the people that are there, they're looking right through your body, up and down and around. You feel so uncomfortable, you don't want to go back. And even though the atmosphere is charged with praise and worship, they're not focused on that. They're focused on the new person that just walked through the door. So, I'm pleading with you to be honest and clean-spirited when you go to church. Do not go to church and try to intoxicate yourself with what other people are wearing, what they're not wearing, and, oh, sister so-and-so, what's wrong with her? She looks so disheveled today. Why are we going to church for that? And then when you leave, you have so many negative things to say about all the people. And some of you who go to church and believe in all that witchcraft thing, workers of iniquity they call it. It's in the Bible. We know it's real. We know some people are doing it. So why are you going to church then? Why are you deceiving yourself? And if I'm speaking to you personally, I would like for you to change your ways, beg for forgiveness, repent, and you will be forgiven, and go to church with a new brand attitude this weekend. Because going to church, my friends, does not make you a Christian. Sad to say. The personal relationship that you have with God, that's the important thing. Be true to yourself. Be true to God. Find out how you can help someone else in the church or outside of the church. It's not all about you. Don't focus so much on the outward things. Let's go inside and try to find what's in there to take out and make someone else's life a little better. What can you do for someone else? It's not always about what you can do for you or what you can get the pastor to do for you or what you can get Brother Joe to do for you. Or I'm going to go to church because, if I'm hungry, they will feed me. That's not the reason to go to church. And if you go to church, people, and you get prayer, and you ask for prayer because you're having some devastating thing happening to you in your life, I am asking you to turn around and give an offering to the church. I'm not saying you should pay for the prayer, but you should show your appreciation by giving something to that church. And if a church helps you, don't go away and leave the church and never come back to say thanks. And don't wait for years and years before something else bad happens to you, come back to the church asking for prayer again. I don't believe in that. I think that's using the church. So how did we get there? We got there because I was asking the question if going to church makes you a Christian, and it doesn't. It absolutely does not make you a Christian by just attending church. I call them church goers because they go to church and they look and seem so holy, especially those young people in the choir. And they're out there beating the pavement and doing all kinds of crazy things, and then boom, they turn up and they're pregnant. So why are you pretending with us? Why are you faking us out? Can't you just be real? I truly believe that if you go to church and you have decided to commit yourself to the Lord, you need to change your ways. You can't be a Christian and be going to the bar to drink and get drunk. Not saying you can't go and enjoy yourself, but you can't be going there and be getting drunk and disorderly. That's supposed to be your old self. So if you are willing to show your new self, that should not be part of it. We need to change things when we decide to give ourselves to the Lord. And ladies, when you go to church, you look like you're an angel in your clothing. But see you on the street? Where did you leave the clothes? Did you leave part of it in the store or in the closet? Those are some of my questions. I'm simply asking. And would you like to join the conversation? If you want to join the conversation, the number is on the screen right there. And if you can't see it on the screen, it's 561-228-1921. I would like to hear how you feel about that. And a lot of churches, they just have too many laws, too many rules and regulations. People should feel free. They go to church to worship. They should not then feel like they're under the government. You know, you have the government out here already. I don't need the government at church with me. Rules and regulations. Don't do this. You can't wear that. You can't do this. You can't do that. Why am I seeing an ant on my table? Oh, okay. He's gone. You know, one of those big red ants or whatever they call them. I don't know why he's here. Why is he here? Oh, go. This is live TV. Yes, it is. So I'm just showing you what's real. So we're just, we're not beating up on anyone. We're giving love, but we want you to be real and be truthful and be thankful and stop being so fake about stuff and show the real you. Love you and show people who you are. If they choose to love you after they know who you are, that's fine. And if they don't choose to love you after you show your true self, kick them to the curb. Yeah. Divorce them. My goodness. We've almost come to the end of the show already. So, well, I hope you have listened and you've learned some things and you've digested some things. And if you disagree with me, you can give your opinion. We still have a few minutes to go. But it's serious, though. This going to church thing is very, very serious. And I truly heard them talking about that today on one of the religious channels. Does going to church make you a Christian? Lots of people believe that it does, and it doesn't. It truly doesn't. So we need to come off that bandwagon, and let's just go on the right bandwagon and go to church for the right reasons. We go to worship. And there's nothing greater than going to a wonderful church that has a fantastic choir. Like Weir Drive. Yeah? And has great praise and worship, so you actually feel like you went to church. And then the bishop comes in and gives you good teaching, or the prophetess, or other ministers who they invite sometimes to come to churches. And you just go and you're fulfilled. But when you're fulfilled in the church, do not leave that church and become a monster as you walk out. Because a lot of us do that, As we get to the door of the church, we start acting like we're crazy. All over again. So what happened inside the church? It just disappeared once you got out the door? Lots of us have that problem. So, I plead and I ask you, open your hearts, go to church with a clean heart, absorb all that the preacher has to offer, worship, be thankful, and be blessed. And ladies and gentlemen, again, if you go to a church and you are asking for prayer, or you're asking that church to come with their prayer band to your house to get rid of evil spirits or some crazy devil that's in there, don't just let them come and you not even offer to give an offering to the church. And remember, I'm saying you're not paying for the prayer. You're just showing your appreciation. And when they do help you and you feel better and everything is working out, return and say thank you. Give your testimony, share your testimony, and don't be a Scrooge. Don't wait for 10 years later when something else is busting in your life. Then you return and you say, oh, well, I was doing well for a while, you know, but so-and-so is going on with me right now. I don't think that's fair to the church or the pastor or you, for that matter. I truly believe that you should not do that. So, do the right thing by your church or by your church that you visit. Don't just use the church when you need the church to do something for you. That's not the way Jesus wants us to operate. And as I leave you this evening, I remind you that come April 30th, National I Love Me Day. So I want you to prepare for it. And of course, if you check out my web store, you will find the t-shirts there. And of course, the male t-shirts will just simply say, love me instead of I love me. So just make your orders. And if you need to have me come and speak at your function or your gathering or your church, please give me a call at 561-228-1921. Write me by email, dianawrighttv@gmail.com. And of course, spread the word. We're on live every morning at 10:30 and every evening at 8 p.m. We will go a little longer if we have a lot of calls on the evening show or the morning show for that matter. But you need to join the conversation and join us on Facebook and spread the word. We're here to encourage, get you out of the blue into the green. No more depressed spirit. No more sadness. Just be happy that you're alive and God loves you. So I leave that with you this evening, and I say thank you so much for joining me. For those of you who are watching and just are afraid to pick up that phone and call. But that's okay. As long as you're listening and as long as I'm helping you to realize something that you did not think about before, or tell you something in the news that you just didn't have time to pay attention to, or just encouraging you to love yourself and teach your children to love themselves. That's good enough for me. But I'd like you to join the conversation though, and give me a call when I'm on, so we can not only discuss what's on my mind, but discuss what's on your mind, because this show is here to help you. Well, I guess it's time to go now. So, if you love something, set it free. If it comes back, it's yours. If it doesn't, it was never yours. And don't forget, if you're out there in the universe and you can transfer my tapes for me, I'd certainly appreciate it. Give me a call, 561-228-1921. I think everybody should know the number by now. And everybody should have told their friends about the website by now. And the email address. And the Twitter. And the Facebook. Technology is taking over our lives. Ciao. Au revoir. And have a great, great, great blessed evening. Thanks again. See you tomorrow morning at 10:30, right here, same place. And we hope we can just give you that word of encouragement that will lift you out of your blue, take you into the green. Take care.